Hey everybody, it's Sherry
and Bria.
And welcome back to another episode of Alleged Actually podcast. Today is Thursday, so that means it's none other than Married at First Sight, Denver tonight. And y'all, the episode last night was kind of more of the same. We still have our two couples that are still struggling with the same issues. Mm-hmm. But maybe the highlight, if there was one, is our new couple, Chloe and Michael.
Right. Wait, real quick. I'd like to highlight my background.
Okay.
This is, of course, it looks familiar. It's Becca's cat and Austin, who, claims that he's super allergic, that he can't, But as the episode goes on, we'll see that this isn't the only cat he's allergic to.
Okay.
We're on to you.
All right. Well, let's kick it off with Chloe and Michael. So they've had their wedding night. And as they wake up in preparation to go on their honeymoon, apparently Miss Chloe has panic attacks in her sleep. And so she had 4 panic attacks that night. And her and Michael talk about it. And she explains how when she gets full of cortisol or a lot of stress, that she will have those in her sleep. Yet she does not have them during times of being awake. So there's that. Michael was very supportive and patient. And so that starts off to a good start. They get ready to pack for their trip. And I think we get to see one of their first personality quirks or differences. We talked a lot about Chloe last week, how she kept saying she was a recovering perfectionist, but she's also a minimalist, you guys. And so whereas her packing was the bare bones, Michael, on the other hand, he's a brother that likes options, and I'm not mad. So they basically talk about their packing or lack thereof and his abundance of packing. And they are actually going to Colorado Springs for their honeymoon, which I feel like it's a little bit of, maybe they got robbed a little bit because the other couples went to Mexico, but it is late in the season. And at least they get to go somewhere, right? So they go and check in a really nice resort. And they start off really talking about their expectations of the honeymoon. Michael really wants to experience and see what it'll be like to live with Chloe. And Chloe basically wants to have fun and adventure. So, and she doesn't want it to feel forced. So I think they both fairly achieve those things to a degree. Bria, before I get into like the actual step-by-step, what do you think of Chloe and Michael at this point?
They're cute. I think they're cute. I guess I'm kind of coming around. It might be one couple that says yes at decision day, and that would be this one. Is she? She's still kind of, it feels still a little bit rehearsed to me. I think that Michael is a great partner. I don't know. He seems very attentive and like just in tune with his partner, or he tries to be. And I think he's a good man. Now, a good man for her, I don't know. Something about her I don't trust quite yet. So
okay. I mean, I think that's fair. I think Chloe is definitely giving possibly a lady that has a few issues. She seems to be fairly communicative about the things that she goes through. She's transparent, or it seems so.
No, I don't want to like make it seem like like something that should be a great thing about her. Like she's a great communicator. But I don't know. I just feel like she says all of the right things. Like she knows what, like she's very poised, and it's clear that she what is her? She's a director of a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell that she knows how to talk. If that
Want to sell herself,
makes,
that's for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. It
I mean,
could
I
just
get what you're saying. I do think she does seem to have the right things to say. And even with her vulnerabilities, I think that she certainly knows how to articulate those in a way in which that makes her still seem
too good to be right. Just a little bit.
I won't say too good to be true. If what I'm looking at is accurate, I would say that Chloe embodies a woman that's really ready for this experiment. Whatever that looks like. I don't know if it's going to work or if when they get home, because we'll get to that in just a second, but how it'll be when she has to share spaces with him, it's different when you're on a honeymoon or even on your wedding night when you're in a different location. However, we'll see. I mean, again, what I do see from both her and Michael that I haven't seen from the other couples, or at least from both of them and the couples, is that they both seem to understand what they signed up for, if you will.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So back to their honeymoon, they decide to go on their first outing, which is a mountain climb. And Chloe particularly wants to do this because she feels like what makes couples closer than being put together in a high stress situation. So apparently one of her fears is heights. And so she asked Michael, what his fears are. And he says, basically the ocean and roller coasters. And Michael asked her how she likes to be supported. And she says she's the type that rarely asks for help. But she said that being there and letting her know that he's there would be good for her. And he says that similar, he has the same sort of thing. But he says he does realize that for him, he has a knack or he has the propensity to sort of get out of whack at times, and that his partner would ideally be able to identify when he's not quite right and being able to step in there to, I guess, help balance him, if you will.
I would like, yeah, that part, I don't know. I would have liked to hear a little bit more about that because I don't know.
I think there's more to it.
Yeah.
I think that, okay, well, I do want us to talk about them, more of a discussion type based thing. I'm going to wrap it up because basically they talk about their upbringing, their childhood. Both of them apparently have grown up in diverse areas, which is something that they share. Michael reveals that he is part Filipino and Greek, which is interesting. And Chloe reveals that she grew up partly in Santa Fe and then also in New Mexico, and that she has been raised in a very, I guess, diverse areas. And so Chloe asked Michael what he identified more as, and he said when he was younger, Filipina. And then I guess later on, he identified more with his Greek side when his father passed away and the way his Greek side of the family rallied around him. I thought that was kind of an odd question for her to ask, but we'll talk about it. Something else that came out that I thought was interesting. Michael has not told his mother about their marriage. He's told his sister, but not his mom. And I could tell by her face that might not be something that she's here. No. Then they go on to talk about aesthetically what they like about each other. He likes her dark hair, her eyes, her lips. She liked his tattoos and his curly hair. And then we're going to wrap up their segment because it becomes the last night that they're there. And she sets up a dinner. and reveals to him that she's really scared about what it's going to be like when they get back home, that she's actually very emotionally overwhelmed and she doesn't know if she can do it. And Michael just basically asks her, or basically says that he's supportive. He's being supportive in that. So Maria, what I wanted to do is let's talk a little bit about, I think it's too early for predictions, but let's talk about Chloe and Michael and maybe some things that we see that might have jumped out at us on this episode that may be issues later. I'll give you mine, but I'm gonna let you go first.
Well, I think that, like you said, she's a woman who was ready for the experiment. I think that she didn't expect to be paired with him. I think because, you know, as well as I do, that yes, like when it's in the beginning, you're just married and there's so much adrenaline and it's like, there's this new person and when they get back to real life is when it really unfolds, is when the truth is there and the honeymoon is essentially over.
Right.
And I think that right now they're in their honeymoon phase and it's new. I think he's a little more timid, just because of how he was done the first time. Now, I'm still not ruling out the fact that I think that they did that on purpose to drum up more views for like the first couple episodes because nobody watches those. But yeah, I it's still too early to tell. Something just seems not right though. I can't quite put my finger on it yet, but like I feel like the other shoot a drop thing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it would be more on her end than his.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
Because I think that she's showing the best version of herself right now. And she knows how to sell herself. She's a director of a nonprofit. She has to talk to gobs of people to get money. Right. So I just feel like I think that her true self is going to come out maybe, I don't know, when they get back. And yeah, and Michael will. But I do think that Michael is willing to give it his all though. And I don't want to see him, I don't know, go through the same things that, you know, past season, like when it's one-sided, basically. You really want it to work and your partner is just like,
right,
you're cool, but I don't really, you know.
Yeah. For me, I think the things that kind of stood out for me are a couple things. I agree that Chloe is saying all the right things. She has highlighted her anxieties and her quirks.
Mm-hmm.
But I truly think that you're going to see a whole lot more of that when they get back home. I think that Michael is buying into the fact that Chloe is all in when we're not certain yet that she is. And I feel like, I know that you said that he was timid, but I almost seemed to feel like he was lulled into a false sense of security, particularly when he asked her when they were on the massage table. And I did not mention part of their honeymoon, they also did get a massage. And he ended up massaging her, but that went with the part of me saying when they talked about what they found physically attractive to each other, or physically attractive about each other. And he asked her, was there anything about my body that enticed her? And I thought that question It's fair because of course you'd want to make sure your partner is physically attracted to you, but I felt like he put her on the spot with that. And her comeback was, I've never dated a guy with tattoos, but I think yours are beautiful. I don't know. I think one thing about it.
Wait, did she say they were beautiful, or did she say something like, you show your life through like your tattoos? I don't, it was something like you have a lot. Like is what she was trying to get at.
That's what it kind of seemed like. And she said maybe that act was beautiful, but she did use the word beautiful. So, but yeah, I just felt like that was an opportunity for her to, but I mean, she did seem like she was physically attracted to him. She even said that something may happen. I don't know, child. This is just kind of little things that I picked up, you know. I definitely have high hopes for them. You know, I seem to be the optimistic one, but again, what I do see with those two is the understanding of what they're signing up for, the fact that it doesn't happen overnight, that there are going to be challenges, and they both seem to be willing to work through it. Honey, only time will tell. So I feel like they're off to a good start. And so for me, for the episode, that was a bright spot to at least see a couple that seem to be speaking the same language. And child, these other two, we're going to get into it. We're going to go next with Becca and Austin. And see, that was a couple that I had high hopes for. Now, so as you guys know, Becca and Austin did not go to Michael and Chloe's wedding because they had to go. And it was Austin's grandmother's birthday. So they went to Pennsylvania for a family event to celebrate his grandmother's birthday. They really don't do too much in Pennsylvania for this episode, except for they go to George Washington's house. And she says she's fanning out because she saw the musical Hamilton. So did I. By the way, y'all, that is one heck of a musical. It was phenomenal. But if you're fanning out about the musical, I don't know why you're so hyped about George Washington's house. He definitely went to George Washington's house. But I think she's fanned out about the musical because the musical was dope. The real Hamilton, I don't know. Anyway, y'all, getting off the subject. Just goes back to Becca's sort of artsy side, quirky side. Anyway, but I'm with her there. Hamilton was everything. Go watch it, guys. But anyway, they get on back home. And child, they're preparing for Dr. Pia to come a-knocking. And we all know what happens when Dr. Pia comes a-knocking. So Austin asked Becca, as they're preparing for her to come, was she going to be dropping any bombs on him that he should know about? Child, Becca was kind of looking at him like,
maybe.
Has anything changed since she was here last? Right? But Austin says, well, he basically tries to keep saying that they just haven't had any time for the intimacy. I mean, where do you get the time from? And Becca says, well, Dr. Pia says, you make time. Because you do, child. You make time for what you want to.
Absolutely, especially that. Good grief.
I mean, how much time does he need?
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway.
He wants a minute, man, but sheesh.
Well, listen, I think at this point, I think she'll take whatever he can give her, but
exactly.
Excuse me, y'all. I have a little tickle in my throat, but yeah. Austin says that, well, he's trying to plead his case so that he doesn't get his face blown off when Dr. Pia comes in. So he basically tells her, well, while we were in Pennsylvania, there were the cats, and he's allergic to cats. And that affected his nasal passages, his eyes, and then his lungs. I mean, can't you relate?
Absolutely.
Okay. Becca says that she knows Austin means well, but she's tired of initiating. and basically getting rejected. So a little bit more to add to the story. Apparently, Becca on the side has been seriously initiating, literally trying. So it's not like at first how she was saying that, she was waiting on him to make a move. Apparently, after the exercises that Dr. Pia gave them, she has felt empowered to initiate.
Remember, because he said that he didn't know. Like, he played it, because when Dr. Pia or somebody asked, well, I mean, and then he said something like, well, I didn't know that she wanted to, which
every conversation, honey, she was talking about. They couldn't even go see no plants.
Exactly. But you remember that, right?
Yes, I do remember that, actually. I do.
And so, so basically in that scene, he told her, hey, initiate it more. And then she does, and still nothing.
Child. She talked to him about, well, what about what Dr. Pia said about doing foreplay throughout the day? And he says, well, it's just kind of hard to get it all in a day. She basically then says she's going to leave it all on him. And he says, I know. And it's the way he said, I know.
They felt sick of each other.
Good Lord. I mean, Bria, it's like, it's sickening.
It is.
I mean, it's either one or two things. You're going to be honest with your partner and say, look, I'm just not there. I don't want to. Absolutely. No matter how many times you slice it, how many times you try, how you come at me, how many times you drop a hint, I'm just not going to. I don't want to. For whatever the reason is.
Exactly. Just say, I don't want to.
Just say it. And stop making her think that to say there's not enough time. Men, women out there. When you're with your partner, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your significant other, child, whatever, you mean to tell me you can't fit it in?
There are 24 hours in a day.
Right. And she ain't saying it's got to be no everything. The whole time they've been together. Austin. So anyway, child, Dr. Pia actually does stop by. And they made him a little pizza, honey. Becca taking her little bite of the pizza because she's frustrated, because I know you can see it all over her face. She is over it.
Yes. Where she used to be all like bright and giddy, she is
not. It's gone. I mean, did you see the way she was looking at him? Like,
she's annoyed.
It had a full-on attitude this episode. So anyway, Dr. Pia comes by, and first thing she asks is, how's it going? How's the intimacy been? Here come Austin with his excuses. Talking about, yeah, we did your exercise. The first one we did was kind of like fun and cheeky. The one where I told y'all how he blindfolded her and almost led her to her death. That one. That would be the one he's talking about. Fun and cheeky. Child. And then he talked about that night, later that night, when he set up the romantic night. And apparently they did kiss. Apparently nothing else happened. The way they left it off was, it led you to believe that they possibly could have consummated their marriage, but clearly they did not.
In typical married at first sight fashion.
Huh?
I said, in typical married at first sight fashion.
Oh, yeah. And Austin says that he's gotten better at initiating, but it was written all over Becca's face that he was lying. So Becca said that when they went to Pennsylvania, that she felt like it was a halt on things, that, what little progress they had made, honey, after exercise had come to a screeching halt when they went to visit his family. And Dr. Pia asked if PDA was an issue for him, like in front of his family or in front of people. Of course, he takes whatever little lifeline somebody throws at him. And he says, oh, yeah. And Becca was like, I'm not expecting you to make out with me in front of your family. But she was just like, the flirting, the reassurance, none of that was there. And she says even with the flirting, she initiates it, but she just doesn't want to push him past his comfort level.
Yeah.
But the last thing that she says is, look, I want to move forward sexually. That's what she wants. I mean, we've been talking about this for weeks, and it hasn't changed.
Right.
And I think, and then when you see the preview for next week, her and Emily are talking, and she's talking again about it. It just, to me, at this point, I wouldn't say another
Honest word.
I would be done. Because what I'm not going to do is beg you, but if you don't want to, child, I can do you one better on decision day.
Okay? Look, for real, because this is not that.
It is not.
Deep. Like,
no. The preview for next week when homeboy jumps out the bed. Listen, I am here for next week. Y'all, please make sure next Thursday, because I want to talk. I want to talk to y'all. When I saw that man jump out, I mean, editing can make you think, and they can make you think some things. So I'm not saying
they can, but
they can paint a different picture.
The way that he did that little walk off with
how he walked down.
He wasn't gonna come back to that bedroom. I don't know. Now I don't know if Becca follows him shortly after and they go snuggle on the couch and watch a movie, because that's just how they do.
They do.
Sometimes they make something out of it. Right. He was so excited to see that movie, he jumped up from the bed and then walked. It could be that too. It really, like,
listen,
Jesus.
I don't know. But I know this. If they don't move along within the next episode, honestly, it's going to be very clear to me that Becca is not going to stay with him. If she does, I'll be shocked. Now, you heard it here from me. Bria, I know what your prediction is, but I'm giving you the floor. Please tell me your thoughts.
Well, as we are here, again, he don't want her. You don't want her. I know what y'all want me to say. I've been saying it from almost not day one, because I was like, okay, maybe, but since day two, I've been saying it. He don't want her. He don't like her. I think that he thinks she's cool. I think that, I mean, if I could be matched with anybody that I'm not like super attracted to, I'm glad it's her. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just, he doesn't want her. He's basically friend zoning her in like the most subtle way. Well, not even subtle anymore.
Not even subtle.
So we already know, right? Bria says Becca and Austin ain't gonna work. She been saying it, and she ain't changing.
All right, actualizers, what do y'all think? What's your prediction for Becca and Austin? Anybody out there have any hope for them? If so, please put it in the comments. If you don't, put it in the comments. We want to see what it is you guys think. Because, honey, me and Brie are sick of them. And now for the couple that we've all been the sickest of, Emily and Brennan. They decide to do a communication exercise that really focuses on active listening. They decide to use a talking stick, which ends up being a talking paddle. And so the idea is really aimed at Brennan, so that whenever she says something he don't like, he doesn't shut her down. Or if he says, so she don't overtalk him, child. It's for both of them, child. It's for both of them. But anyway, Brennan says he cares about Emily and doesn't want to lose her because that would suck, which is why he's trying. Y'all. Anyway, child, listen. Emily says she doesn't want to lose him, but feels like she's losing herself along the way.
Deep.
Agreed. Brennan says he doesn't want to blur the lines between their friendship and their relationship, because God, why would you want to do that?
Right. She's not your wife or anything. That's crazy.
Of course not. Emily says he doesn't even treat her like a friend. And he interrupts her, per usual. And then he asks her, what specifically did he do to make her feel that way? And she says, well, basically last night, meaning the night of the wedding, she said that multiple people that they were mutually friends with said to her that, he doesn't he doesn't even treat her like he wants to be a friend. She wanted to have fun, and she thinks that if that's the case, if he really wants to be a friend and then they're so great, that he needs to make more of an effort. And she said people there in their friend group were saying that they don't even look like they're even friends. And they sure don't. So, then of course, as usual, with Emily and Brennan, they always need a sounding board. So Emily chats with Claire, and of course they start out talking about Cameron, child. Claire has become the dutiful wife that is trying to nurse him back to health. Only thing is, he don't really want her to. She tells her how, she hasn't been able to get him on the phone because he's been sleeping a lot. Well, he did have surgery. He is trying to heal, ma'am. Okay. And so Emily entertains her for a half a second. That's cute. But then she hops in what she really wants to talk about.
Right. And that's about you. Let's get on. Let's get on
to my friendship with my husband. Okay. And Claire also, she says it the same way that it's been stated to her, that he doesn't treat her like a friend, that he silences her and does not let her be herself. And she says, Emily keeps defending him, which I don't understand. She did it with Claire, and she does it a little bit with her other friend, which I don't know if that's justification of why she's still being stupid and hanging on, or if she truly believes this. But she basically says that no, he was fine with who I was until it started ruining his image, which we have said some similar things. Emily says, though, she's not giving up, even though it's hard. And so they get a visit from Pastor Cal. And he comes by and he asks how things are going. And he asks if they're happy. And she says she's happy because if she wasn't, she wouldn't be there. She says she's happy to let him do whatever it is that he wants to and let the reset progress. But she says she wants a husband, not a friendship. Shocker. Mm-hmm. Pastor Cal then, which I thought was brilliant, brings with him the videos of when they were interviewing as part of the process to be matched, the things that they said that they wanted in a partner or about themselves.
Yeah.
Basically, Emily said a lot of the things that were accurate to how she is showing up for her relationship. But y'all, when Brennan's tape went to air, child.
So like I believe the whole time. And she was like,
she did that face all time. And even Pastor Cal was just looking like, you hear that?
Right. Like, and one thing, just an aside, Pastor Cal, baby, when you know that the camera is going to be on your hand, like, moisturize. Moisturize, because like
not
because for a good,
like
no, for 30 seconds, I was distracted. I did not even make out what's going on.
Notice.
I did. It was great, especially the one right here. Like, no, well, it was the one right here. It was so ash. The knuckles. It was the knuckles.
All right.
But yes, that's all. Just moisturize.
I mean, Pastor Cal was on a mission. Homeboy said, I don't have time for no lotion. It's driving me crazy. I'm coming in full ass because I'm here to save the day. That's dedication.
Yes. Moisture, what's that?
Moisture. Woo. Child, I can't. Anyway, in Brennan's interview, he talks about how he was loving and communicative and a pretty selfless guy. I mean, he puts everyone before himself. Claims he was going to trust the process and work on it best he can.
Mm-mm-mm.
Whew. Pastor Cal asked how Emily felt about what he said. Emily said that she sees some discrepancies, you think,
Big.
and that particularly about him saying that he trusted the process. I'm thinking there was a lot more to it than that, but we'll start there. Okay. Said that he cut that out pretty quickly as far as trusting the process. Brennan says it's different when you're things are different when you're in a romantic relationship, which basically was a jab saying that I guess if he was romantically interested in me, that she would get those things.
There you go.
Get another context clue, Emily. Are you listening? Okay.
She squinted like she was, but is she going to absorb it and take it in?
No, I think she hears what she wants to hear.
Right. She's so like stuck on the first maybe like 2 or 3 days where everything was great.
Good. Yeah.
And she's like, and I think really what would help her is if he would just be honest and like tell her exactly like what it is that he cannot, get past. Is it because like, right. And it's like you can tell she's literally like you can tell she's constantly like in her head a lot.
She is, but if he would give her that to me would be selfless because he'd be letting her have the information she needs to move on.
Right.
I think she feels like if she just decides that on her own, that she's too hasty and that there's there's a chance that he may have to come around. But
right, but it's not happening.
Not happening.
It's not. And Claire is like she tried to gently nudge her into the happily divorced and stress-free club, but she's like he's a good man, Savannah type B, and it's like I don't understand why he treats you like not
he
like
definitely does.
He don't even treat you like a friend. Like it's not even like you're literally there.
Literally just there. You're someone that he tolerates, and that's
an acquaintance, if you will. Someone that he met on a show. Like that's
pretty much.
Like that's literally it. And honestly, I think that Brennan really didn't understand. I don't know if I don't know if you've never seen an episode of Married at First Sight or if he thought he was auditioning for like Love Island or something, but he seems like somebody who doesn't do well with like pressure or like having to be rushed into a decision or feeling like he's being rushed into a decision. And I feel like this experiment can feel like that if you're not ready.
If you're not open for it.
Right. And I think that he wanted to be on it seemed like he was scrolling one day, saw an ad, was like, okay, this might be fun, because they advertise it on social media saying, hey, casting for this show is going on. And so maybe he was like, this seems fun. Never like expecting that he would be looked at as this awful, selfish husband.
Abusive.
Like, yes, that too. I'm sure he didn't think any of that.
Oh, I'm sure he didn't. Well,
but poor Emily, though, she wanted that. Sucks.
It does. Basically, the last little bit, Emily says that she didn't feel comfortable pushing boundaries. And Pastor Cal basically just gives them the last little bit of his advice is for them to take the word friend out of their vocabulary. That you can't, they're not here to make friends. They're here to be married and they're here to work on a marriage. And the whole reset thing is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, like I said, the man has told her it's a massive cop-out. And the fact that she would accept it just shows that she's willing to take any little crumb that he puts in her path. It's sad.
It is.
And it's tired. And she gets it yet again from another one of her friends, a really good friend of hers. They video chat. And she says, you know, she has a hard time understanding Brennan because he literally makes no sense. Okay? Because he don't. Never answers a question.
He's all over
Emily,
them.
yeah. Emily says she just doesn't think that Brennan ever had anyone that's called him out. I find that hard to believe. But anyway, her friend called Brennan a master manipulator. True that, sister. Emily wonders why she still cares. And her friend says she needs to stick up for herself respectfully. Emily tries to figure out her boundaries. You know, Brennan's very clear on what he considers his boundaries are. And she is yet to establish some of hers, particularly the way he shuts her down, talks to her. She does say, you know, or her friend and her agree he just disrespects her and her feelings. Her friend says that he acts like someone has kidnapped him and forced him to do this versus him signing up for a show. And she says, Emily, you should run for the hills. Probably the wisest thing that was stated on the whole episode, was it not?
Yes. Pastor Cal, Pia included. Yes. The wisest thing.
Her friend brought it home. Okay? Because you can't say any clearer than that. Run, sister, run. So, honey, that's basically how it ends. And like I said, next week, they're going to all go to the big, beautiful house when all the couples come, to include Lauren and Orion. So it should be an interesting one. All right, Real, let's do it. Clearly, we both agree that Emily and Brennan are wasting our time. But let's talk about, why is it that you think that Emily's holding on? Because I'd like to hear why you think so.
I think because I fully believe her when she said she's never been in a serious relationship. I don't think that she knows what a healthy one looks like. And so she is basically grasping at straws because I think that she's very naive also in the fact that, like, well, these are experts. They should, you know, they matched me with him for a reason. He should be in love with me. I mean, we're perfect for each other. And that's not the case. If you've watched previous seasons, they get it wrong a lot. Yeah, I do. I just feel like she's naive. And the fact that she doesn't know what a healthy relationship looks like because she's never been in one. I think that's why she's trying to hold on, because she really wants to be in one. So
I agree. I mean, I think it's also what you said about her kind to try to, I think she's trying to chase the feelings she had those first few days on the honeymoon, when it did seem like they were getting along so well and they were bonding and enjoying each other. You know, how he lovingly cut out her crazy looking weave, and they did seem good then, but whatever shifted, and it hasn't been able to be back on track since. And I think she's just not willing to throw in the towel because she believes that if she does the right thing, or, you know, like I said before, back to her days of soccer when her dad taught her, if you work hard enough and you practice hard enough, you know, you'll be successful. I think that she thinks that if she does the right thing, if she listens to the experts, if they do the activities, if they do everything that somebody tells them to, then they'll have a happy, healthy marriage.
Right. Or if she does everything that he tells her to do. She's respecting all of his boundaries and he's toppling all over hers. I mean,
and you know, it's clear that she's not happy. Case in point, last week when she was at the wedding, that was her acting out. That was definitely her. Yeah.
Because she's also, you know, like she talks about Brennan like wanting to protect his image, but she also has an image as well. She's an account executive. Like she's a pretty big deal. And so that was definitely just something that was spiraling.
Definitely. And I mean, the girl has been under a lot of pressure. And I mean, even though some of the other couples also had their issues, and you know, you have Claire and Cameron that broke up, Lauren and Orion off the rip, but you know, there was still so much more mutual respect that they have for each other than what she's not getting. And so out of everybody, I mean, Brennan will evade questions when they ask him directly about their relationship, how he feels about her. and let's talk about it. Well, guys, that's all for tonight. We invite you back for Saturday. We'll do Pop Culture Saturday. So come on back. You guys have a wonderful Thursday. Thank you, all of you guys that keep tuning in. Keep on coming back. Don't forget, guys, leave us some comments. We want to hear what you think. We hope you have a great night.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, thank you to all the subscribers and the people yet to subscribe. What are you doing? Subscribe, please.
Come on.
And for every like, comment, subscriber, I just want to say thank you. I see you, I love you, and I'm grateful for you. Bye.
Bye, guys.